Let's go Chiefs fans. New updates. Something big is brewing for the Kansas City Chiefs, and if you're a Chiefs fan, you better get ready because this could be one of the most intriguing stories in the team's recent history. We're in the middle of draft season, and every move, every pick, and every rumor matters. We need to talk about it. Right now, we're in the middle of ESPN's Matt Miller just released a 7-round mock draft, and Chiefs Kingdom, there's a lot to unpack. From a first-round pick that could shake up the defensive line to some late-round selections that could raise some eyebrows, this mock draft has it all. Andy Reid is a smart guy and has everything he needs to take us to the Super Bowl. I feel like this year the Kansas City Chiefs are going to surprise a lot of people. We have some very powerful weapons, and we have Patrick Mahomes, who is an excellent quarterback. If you agree that we can make it to the Super Bowl and come back stronger and stronger, hit the like button. If possible, say something like, "Go Chiefs! Go Patrick Mahomes! Let's go to the Super Bowl!" Let's start with the first round. With the 31st overall pick, Matt Miller has the Chiefs selecting Michael Williams, the edge rusher out of Georgia. Now, this is a big one. Williams is a guy who flashes elite talent. He put up 4 sacks in 2 games against Texas in 2024, proving that he can show up in big moments. But there's a catch. He also disappears at times. That inconsistency has some people questioning whether he's the right guy for Kansas City at this spot. He dealt with an ankle injury this past season, which slowed him down, but the upside is there. If you put him next to Chris Jones and George Karlaftis, you're giving him one-on-one matchups that could allow him to unlock his full potential. The Chiefs have a strong history of developing defensive talent, and if they can refine his technique, he could be a dangerous force in the pass rush. But is he the right pick at 31? That's the question. Should the Chiefs take Michael Williams, or should they go in a different direction? Drop an S4 select or a P4 pass in the comments. Let's see what Chiefs Kingdom thinks. Now, moving on to the second round. Here's where things get interesting. With their next pick, the Chiefs take Charles Grant, an offensive tackle from William and Mary. Be honest, how many of you knew much about this guy before today? Grant is an athletic tackle with quick feet, and he's got the size to make an impact, but he's a bit of a project. Coming from an FCS school, there are questions about whether he can handle elite NFL defenders right away. The Chiefs already have a developmental piece in Kingsley Suamataia, and adding another raw talent like Grant could be risky. The good news? He fits the Chiefs' zone blocking scheme and could develop into a long-term left tackle. But is this the right move for a team that needs help now? Then, in the third round at pick 66, the Chiefs go back to the defensive line, selecting Joshua Farmer, a defensive tackle from Florida State. This pick makes a ton of sense. Kansas City has struggled to find a reliable DT to pair with Chris Jones, and Farmer brings a relentless motor and high effort to the position. He was a key piece of a Florida State team that went undefeated last season and barely missed the college football playoff. If you're looking for a guy who can bring energy to the D-line, Farmer is that player. Spags loves aggressive, high-motor guys, and Farmer fits that mold perfectly. Now, this next pick at 95 might be one of the most underrated moves in the draft. The Chiefs select cornerback Noel Williams from Cal. With Trent McDuffie locking down one side of the field, the Chiefs still need a reliable CB2. Jalen Watson is returning from injury, and they added Christian Fulton in free agency, but adding another young, talented corner makes perfect sense. Williams has the instincts and ball skills to compete for a starting role early, and if he develops the right way, he could be a steal at this point in the draft. And then, at pick 126, things take a turn. The Chiefs select running back Rasheen Tutton from Virginia Tech. Now, this is where opinions might start to split. Kansas City's run game last season was missing one thing: breakaway speed. Isaiah Pacheco is a tough, physical runner, but the longest run of the season was just 30 yards. The Chiefs need a home run hitter, someone who can break off big plays and keep defenses honest. Tutton brings that explosive burst to the table. He's a guy who can hit the hole and be gone in an instant. If you're a fan of speed, this is a pick you should be excited about. At pick 226, the Chiefs go safety, taking Kitten Crawford from Nevada. With Justin Reid gone, there are some question marks at the position. The Chiefs have talked about moving Shamari Connor around, and Jaden Hicks is an intriguing option. Adding Crawford gives them another piece to work with in a secondary that is still taking shape. He's got elite speed and closing ability, which could make him a valuable rotational piece early on. And then, one of the biggest surprises, the Chiefs wait until pick 251 to take a wide receiver. Yes, you heard that right. In a year where fans have been begging for more weapons for Patrick Mahomes, they don't grab a receiver until the very end. That pick? Daniel Jackson from Minnesota. The scouting report on him? He's a route salesman. He sells his routes so well that defenders bite hard on his fakes. That's an interesting skill set, and if he builds chemistry with Mahomes, he could find a role. But did the Chiefs wait too long to add a receiver? That's a big question. Finally, with their last pick at 257, Mr. Irrelevant of the draft, the Chiefs go with Nazir Stackhouse, a defensive tackle from Georgia. Stackhouse isn't going to fill up the stat sheet, but he does the dirty work in the trenches. He's a big body who can eat up blocks and allow linebackers to make plays. Every team needs a guy like that. So, overall, how does this draft look? The Chiefs addressed major needs at edge rusher, offensive tackle, cornerback, and defensive tackle. But they waited until the very end to take a receiver, which could be a questionable decision. My grade for this draft? I'm going with AB+. There's a lot to like, but there's also that lingering question, did the Chiefs do enough to help Patrick Mahomes? I want to hear from you. Drop your draft grades in the comments, A, B, C, D, or F, and let me know what you think. Should the Chiefs have gone wide receiver earlier? Would you have taken Michael Williams at 31? Let's talk about it. And here's where things get really interesting, because if this draft actually plays out the way Matt Miller has it, the Chiefs are making a statement about how they want to build this team for the long run. Look at the positions they prioritized. Defensive line? Twice. Offensive line? Early. Secondary? A young playmaker. But wide receiver? Practically an afterthought. That tells us something. It tells us that the Chiefs believe in Rashee Rice, that they trust the development of guys like Xavier Worthy and Marquise Brown, and that they're banking on Patrick Mahomes being able to elevate whatever talent is around him. But is that the right approach? Because let's be real, last season, the biggest problem on offense wasn't the run game. It wasn't even the offensive line. It was the wide receivers. Drop passes. Bad routes. Miscommunication. All of that nearly cost the Chiefs a shot at the Super Bowl. So to wait until pick 251 to address that position? That's going to be controversial. Now, let's talk about Michael Williams again because he's the headline pick here. The Chiefs just won a Super Bowl with a dominant defense, and they're doubling down on that strength by adding another pass rusher. But this isn't just about 2024. This is about life after Chris Jones. Because we know the Chiefs aren't going to keep paying top dollar forever. Eventually, they're going to need to find that next great defensive star. Michael Williams might not be that guy today, but in 2 years, with Steve Spagnuolo coaching him up, he could be the future of the Chiefs' pass rush. And if that's the plan, this pick makes even more sense. But let's not pretend it's a perfect draft. The Charles Grant selection in the second round is risky. He's a small school prospect, and the Chiefs already have Wanya Morris and Kingsley Suamataia in the mix at tackle. Are they really going to trust one of these young guys to step up? Or should they have gone with a more proven player at that spot? Because offensive line isn't a position where you can afford to gamble. Mahomes needs protection. And if the Chiefs miss on Grant, that could come back to haunt them. The Joshua Farmer pick, though, that's a home run. The Chiefs' run defense was good last year, but it could be even better with another disruptive presence inside. Farmer has that potential. He's not a finished product, but he has the tools to develop into a key rotational piece. And considering how much Spags likes to rotate his defensive linemen, this makes a lot of sense.